Hey guys, SaveAsUntitled here. Welcome to the 23rd episode of The Ranking Show, the weekly show where we recap the weekend of Melee and talk about what's happened and see sometimes how it affects the ranking, but mainly we just look to see who's the biggest winner and loser of the weekend and highlight some of the interesting stories and how that could potentially affect the rankings. I'm SaveAsUntitled. And yeah, so there was a Arcadian in some place in the world. You can look at Monday Morning Marth if you want to learn more about how the Arcadian went this weekend. And also, Swooper won an event in Tri-State. He won the Fireside Open in Tri-State without dropping a set, I believe. But obviously, the most important thing from this weekend, this last weekend of the MPGR, MPGR ranking season, was Mango's Birthday Bash, which came out of nowhere to become a surprisingly stacked event. Also, yes, say hi to YouTube, guys. Mango, as some predicted, went from not winning anything last year, taking him 3 major wins this year, which is pretty incredible. Hax beat HBox, which was crazy to see, and almost beat HBox again. That second set was closer-ish. Wait, was it also? It was also 3-2. Yeah, it was close. I remember very distinctly watching that. I think it was like when it was 3. Oh, maybe that was the Plup set. One of the HBox sets, it was game 5 and he was down 2 stocks. And I just, because I was also sleep deprived, I just started hysterically laughing. I was like, I know exactly how this is going to go. And then it go like that. Plup losing to Swedish Delight, which was a big surprise. Swedish Delight being the only other person to technically not lose any other sets this weekend besides Mango. But the real big stories I would say from this event, the big takeaways is Mango winning, Hax beating HBox, Plup beating Swedish Delight, and more of like kind of leaning into the idea that Plup is really just on a direct downcline. I don't think he's going to be as Ambi's meme suggests, Plup will not be 12th for the year, but his rank is not looking good and his trajectory moving forward is not looking good. And also, something I wanted to touch on that Edwin brought up I think it was Ambi brought up in the Melee Stats Discord server, that I think is kind of, I think we can firmly say this, because for a while it seemed like Zane was at least a semi sort of threat for Hungrybox, but now he only won those 2 sets that come to Papa. Across the last 2 years, what's their head-to-head? Because I remember during the show this weekend, I looked at their head-to-head from 2018 and was surprised how strongly it was in HBox's favor. Yeah. So across the last 2 years, wow, did they end? That's incredible. That 2018 and 2019 for HBox versus Zane both ended as 7-2. So I think it's pretty. I'm pretty confident in saying that like Zane is not really a roadblock or as huge of a problem as people want him to be for HBox. It's really only Wizrobe and Leffen that are major causes for concern for HBox and Bracket. Now, I think that's if the door for some, maybe I think the door was open for me, and yeah, maybe Mango. Yeah, sorry. I just saw the 2 like big roadblocks, and then it's like coin flip, just the very like quietly, it's very shortly sum those up and very what's the word I'm looking for, without a lot of nuance, because there's a whole lot of nuance there. But yeah, no, Zane is no longer on that radar of people when you see him bracket and be like, oh, HBox could lose this tournament. Yeah. So it's like Amza, Wizrobe, Leffen. Wizrobe, Leffen, and then Mango, yeah. Yeah, it is really weird to say, too, because the Zane sets look really close and have always been really close, like, almost exclusively Game 5 sets, but he doesn't win. And it's important to note that these go to Game 5, that Zane's, like, almost there, but HBox is still winning these sets. So in the future, we can be like, Zane has a higher probability of beating HBox than like Pew Pew U or Jake and Shake It. I don't know. I kind of blanked on other Mars for a second. And I guess there's also the question of Mewtwo King with HBox. But there's also the question of Mewtwo King with everything. Who gave me 5 subs this month? Oh, Pam Axo. That's what the leaderboard's for. Or Kodoran, yeah, that is the obvious tier list of Marth right now. It's Zane, Pew Pew, Kodoran, Jake and Shaken, Umarth, Liquid, probably like 15 more regional Marths, my secondary Marth, and then La Luna, I think that's probably, oh yeah, Hybrid, then La Luna. Calvar, yeah, all those guys, and then the very, very end, La Luna. Yeah. Speaking of La Luna, he took a game off of Plup. I was starting to get very, very, very concerned that Plup would drop a set to La Luna. But yeah, La Luna really didn't pull off his big win this weekend was chillin', dude. How did we get back here? So La Luna wasn't able to do any last minute things to salvage his resume. Beating Heartstrings was good. It's a rough to see Heartstrings lose that one. And beating Liquid in the Ditto, stopping him from going, well, I don't think either of these guys hopefully would have made it past this point in bracket. What else can we talk from this weekend because I think the Leffen versus Mango conversation for number 2 is going to take a little bit, and in-depth look on Hacks this year to see about where he falls is going to take a little bit. I don't have a resume review for Hacks. I just want to make sure we cover like the winners and losers of this event before we jump into those big discussions that are going to take up most of the show. We already talked about Swedish's win. Hey Josh, how you doing? None? Yeah. So, none. Not beating S2J again, I think, came as expected. And him losing to Mango, also, Mango and H-Box. That's a rough, well, I guess that's 4th place. Rough 4th place finish. He really didn't pick up anything. Yeah, I don't think none really gained too much from this tournament. Not that beating S2J isn't really gaining too much. Now he's 4-1 on the year. But this is something, even though this is another set that goes close, this is something that I kind of expected from none going into this event. But yeah, getting 4th, yeah. Chaos Bunny 1, thank you for the follow. The Falcons beating each other doesn't feel like real wins. They're really odd sets to watch because it's just them going back and forth, like beating the hell out of each other. It's such a very different kind of set to watch a high-level Falcon Ditto that doesn't include Wizrobe because there's not as much as that like chain grab, tech chase kind of stuff. It's really, really weird. Really, really, really weird. But exciting to watch, but very, very exciting to watch. Slimewire, thank you for the 3 months and the Twitch Prime. I appreciate it. One step closer to go in the fight pit. Hit him with the save W's. One step closer. Cool. So, what else do you want to talk about? Oh, yeah, I can briefly mention, even though I said later in the week I want to do a resume dive onto Sunsei to see how his prospects for the top 100 look. I guess the discussion of Sunsei really is the discussion of Hugs, because he's another one of these people that how Hugs ends up being ranked is how it's going to definitely help Sunsei a lot. Where did Hugs end up? Who was his second loss to at this tournament? Lucky? Yeah. Oh, yeah, he fell. Unfortunate. Yeah, the other side of the bracket was very unfortunately stacked for the people who were over there. A number between 252 and 512. 333. I like that one. Yeah. Clutch God only loses when he says he wants to. Yep. Okay, so yeah, actually let me go back to the top 16. That's probably better. Yeah, so Hugs really didn't do anything to win back his place. Duck Chic, as much as people are getting a little upset with me with how down I was talking on Duck Chic, and it did be Moki's, well, I don't know if that set was on stream. I definitely missed it if it was. But Moki was playing single player out there. Especially in this set he lost playing Falco against Liquid. He was playing single player out there. Like, Liquid didn't win the set. Not that Liquid didn't play good this weekend. But Moki was just, like, having fun, playing some Falco stuff. Moki was also hammered. Word. Yeah, Moki's Falco looked really, really good. I think that's all we can take away from that. And conversely, Duck's Chic did not impress me very much. He had close games with Homemade Waffles. And, like, again, every time I say this, it's always, I want to make sure I'm not calling one out, especially because Homemade Waffles sometimes pops through here. I don't think Homemade Waffles is bad by any means, but the fact that Duck Chic was close in these sets to Homemade Waffles, like Homemade Waffles could have taken some of these, like from the games, I believe it was a 3-0. is really concerning for Duck Sheik right now. But I do believe that it'll get all the way back up to, or hopefully close to where his Samus was. But it's going to take a bit. And it does help that he has all these other contemporaries working on it. I think one of the commentators said this weekend why one of the reasons Duck switched over to Sheik is that now he has other people, like, he's able to talk about, like, finding stuff out with and finding new tech and little things about the character. Because with Samus, it was like, I don't think Hugs was really grinding away stuff. And there is, like, Wevins and Morse and Swoop that are all upcoming Samuses. But, like, there's, like, 5 of those. And with Sheiks, there's, like, many, many more than 5. I think there's more Sheik mains out there than there are Samus mains. Hot take, crazy idea, I know. Yeah. Duck's going to be top 10 next year? Well, it's really hard to judge. And also, ranking Duck's going to be really, Sheik is just Samus graduate school. Yeah. Yeah, Duck is going to be, and get ready for me to have a aneurysm about this while we're going to ranking season, because Duck is going to be like ranking 2 people. His Samus has really incredible results, and his Sheik has a 33rd and a 17th. A not good, a really nothing of note, losing to Damian Tyson, who is, we checked this like 6 times this weekend. He is a Fox from New York? He's the one who goes to a lot of Canadian tournaments, but is from New York, I believe. Southern Ontario. So no, he is the one who's from Canada. Word. Yeah. Wow. It's so weird that the stuff you find when you search like these lesser known players, it's a weird group of stuff. Okay. Hot takes. Well, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Talk about Hugs? I already did. Well, I started talking about Sunsei and people who underperformed. So, and yeah, we had this. I don't think I've ever seen a DQ this deep into the bracket. Well, this deep into the bracket on winner's side for Swedish Delight, but he had to go back for school, so he kind of dropped out. There was almost the point where we almost had a Nun DQ as well, which would have had Sunsei making top 8 by doing nothing. But fortunately, this was the last match of this part of the day that they played. So luckily, Nun was able to get there and get his ass beat, and then wait 5 hours and then beat Sunsei and then beat Esther J. Yeah, wow. This is just like, the weird imbalance between the two sides of the bracket this weekend was really, really odd. We had like, if you were playing okay on this side of the bracket, there's a chance you just like, oh, I get 4th, cool. Because you get these 2 DQs right in this path. You had these 2 upsets. Well, I guess you can say this side of the bracket got so whack because of these 2 upsets. And this side was, yeah, all Plup, HBox, Zane, and Plup, HBox, Zane were all on this side of the bracket. And then we had comparably Nun, S2J, and Swedish on that side of the bracket. It's really, really weird. Ended up going like that. Yeah. I wouldn't say, yeah, it's a weird, like, saying that they got handed 4th, like you were saying, Cyndaquil, because Nun still had to beat S2J, which is quite a task. And even saying that, because we know that Nun was expected to beat S2J, it's not by any means saying that it was easy. But I think we've pretty much covered all of like the big stories from this weekend. So then we can get into our bigger conversations. Shroomed also underperforming. Losing to Lucky really isn't the wildest thing in the world. Losing to 1X. 1X was playing pretty hot this weekend and on his home turf. Yeah. I mean, it just, and also Ryan Ford, where did he end up placing? I think it was like right outside of, wait, we can go to event overview, and then we want the full standings, and then we can go find Ryan. Payouts matter, though? Oh, yeah, payouts matter a ton. By placements don't matter, I mean placements don't matter for, like, ranking people or their perceived skill. It matters for how much they get paid, when they play in the bracket, I guess. Placements have their place, and placements have their place. Placements are placements are a bad shorthand to see how well a player does. But, like, sometimes you need some sort of shorthand. Because when they do those end-of-year things, when they write out the stuff on the Red Bull website, if they just wrote out all their wins and all their losses, they'd be like, oh, that's kind of aesthetically not pleasing. But when you write out their placings, it's a little more aesthetically pleasing and easier to put a smaller amount of information. Yeah. Losing the Plup Shroom. Actually, I wouldn't say this is like a bad tournament by any means for Ryan Ford, but he didn't need a bad tournament. Well, I mean, he needed a good tournament this weekend if he wanted any help on his sinking ship. And even though I saw people giving me shit on it for saying this on Reddit for the storylines video, especially because for that storylines video is before I knew all of the attendees and before the bracket was out, so I was kind of trying to get something out there. I do think Ryan Ford not putting on a fantastic performance this weekend is not that great for people who've beaten him, notably like Magi. Curb is the big one. I forget who else. There's like a list of like 3 or 4 players who have beaten Ryan Ford this year, that him performing better and therefore his ship rising, bringing up all the people who he'd also beaten this year up with him. But unfortunately, Ryan performed as well. Billy has a win over him. Yeah. But I mean, like, Magi's safe for the top 100. She's totally fine. Billy's going to make the top 100. She's totally fine. And all stuff like that. Yeah. Maybe Damian Tyson and Ryan Ford. Ryan Ford's probably making top 100. Damian, I don't think so. I don't know what else Damian has from this year. He's a Rishi. He's got a Chillin' Dude win. He's got a Duck Chic win. Yeah, from just this doesn't seem like he beat over Triforce at Genesis. See, I don't know what's going to happen with over Triforce. Actually, something totally not released that I need the peep on. Let me check something real quick about over Triforce. Is over Triforce on the ballot? Over Triforce. Ooh, over Triforce is on the ballot. I mean, potentially could be on the ballot. We don't have that information is not public yet and will not be public for a little bit and is not finalized as well. But shh, I didn't tell you guys anything. You 65 guys and gals can keep a secret, right? Cool. You didn't say anything, but I trust you. I think more the Damian Tyson, because I'm not sure if he'll make it. This weekend's probably the loss to him is probably worse for Rishi. Because Rishi has, what's Rishi have wins wise? What's his big hallmark win? What's carrying the Rishi ship? It's that Moki win, yeah. I saw it as I see it. The Moki win is the big thing carrying his ship, and a Westballs win. Yeah, Rishi's got a weird record. Rishi's gonna be another weird one to rank. 0-3 on Tuesday, damn. 2-0 and hugs. Not good. Oh, he's also even with Smuckers. Smuckers has had, from what I remember, I don't think he's going to be in the bout, but Smuckers has had some like weird real losses. When will the bout be public? So the ranking closed this weekend. I forget when exactly ballots went out. Let me actually see if I can look that up based on my ballot from last year. No, Rishi was playing Marth. What happened? We talked about it, Cynical. So I when I say like we talked about it this weekend, that's more like me slightly apologizing to the people who already heard me talk about this. So here's my ballot. I don't know if I can I do in like an edit history? Yeah. So the ballot got out to me. Yeah, the ballot. So it ended the 16th. It looked like Practical Task started working on these and sending them out probably sometimes. Yeah, so it's gonna be a little bit till it goes live. I actually don't know if you guys can see. Okay, you guys can see the edits. Yeah. So it's probably gonna be a couple of weeks until we have like the ballot out. But that I'm gonna try to do as many of those resume spotlights before that happens and before we get into doing, because I'm gonna be, as long as there's no new rule in place that you can't stream your ballot, which one would be very understandable, but two, I really hope it's not, because that's some fun content. But yeah, so it's probably going to be a couple of weeks, even though Wheat's been working super hard behind the scenes. I believe Practical Task has also been doing some prep work behind the scenes. Those guys put in an amazing amount of work, and I know P-Test definitely gets more hate than he deserves, but doesn't get nearly enough love. And Wheat definitely does not does not have enough clout that he deserves, or nor does not get enough love for what he does, especially even just for this. The Wheat Sheet, which someone just hit the exclamation point command for it. If you're a Melee fan or like following Melee stats at all, like you should have this bookmark somewhere, and it's constantly updated. Like Wheat already has the sets from this weekend updated. It's incredible. It's fantastic. It is one of the most useful resources for anyone out there, and especially anyone who's doing. Well, I guess the people who do commentary at big events aren't watching this, but people should should know the name Give Me That Wheat more, and I try to give him as much shout outs and stuff like that as well. He also runs the Melee Stats Deep Dive podcast, talking to other people. That's on the Melee Stats YouTube channel. So if that's something you're interested in, he talks to like top players and stuff like that. We can be the surrogate mother of my children. That one, thank you for the follow. But I think that'll about do it for our coverage of, well, the first portion of the show where we're just wrapping up the main part of it. The Best Weekly Melee Podcast. Oh, thank you. No, I think you're referring to Wheats, I would assume. Because I guess technically I still hold the crown of the most popular Melee. Oh, you're talking about Alston, aren't you? Yeah. How about Pika? Pika's she's wonderful too. I'm a big Pika fan. I talk about Pika and Wheat and Edwin all the damn time because I think they're wonderful. Wonderful people and also wonderful content creators. Pika just needs to make stuff more often, but I know Pika lives a busy life. She's got a lot of stuff going on. So, what? Okay, so we have two things. We have two things we could go into talking about right now. Let me know. Hey, Furch, how you doing? Let me know what you guys would be more interested to see first. I'm not going to do a poll. I'm just going to go informally about what you say in chat. So either we could jump into the number 2 discussion between who gets the spot between Leffen or Mango, or, excuse me, we can look at very roughly, because we're going to need the full data set to give hacks a rank for the year. We're going to look at where hacks may end up for this year. So your two choices are Leffen versus Mango or hacks for the year. Let me know, guys. Show me with your support in the chat. Wow, this is pretty even. Foss, that's not an option. Hey, Foss, how you doing? Okay, we'll go with hacks first. I think hacks is the more interesting discussion. The question was, we're gonna look at both hacks' year tonight, and we're gonna look at the Leffen versus Mango discussion. Yeah. Do I have any doubts? Yeah, we can do the HBox at number 1 discussion first. Okay, let me look at the numbers. HBox is number 1. Cool. Now we can do the hacks discussion. Okay. So hacks money, the DQ king himself. So there, I can first speak on that. That hacks dropping out of a lot of tournaments. I don't think I'm going to give him any large sort of penalization for that. But if it comes down to like him and another person on the ballot being very, very close, I will most likely, and this is like at like layer. Like if I'm not sure about their head-to-heads, their peaks, their consistencies, then I would go to be like, oh, hacks does DQ out of a lot of tournaments, and that's can be misconstrued as being a little sketchy. So, but it's like way down the lines. I would be putting an asterisk next to him for that. So that's to keep in mind, but that won't affect our discussion here at all because that's going to depend on where he ends at the end of the year during ballot season. So what does Hacks Money have on his resume? Well, the big one he got this weekend is the HBox win. So outside the top 6, people with HBox wins are Hacks, Albert. Is that it? Mewtwo King. Well, technically Mewtwo King. Yeah, Hacks, Albert, Mewtwo King. I think that's also a very weird group of 3 people. IBW, yeah. Okay, yeah, maybe there are more people that have beaten HBox this year that I've let slip my mind because the HBox propaganda is slowly eating away at my brain until all I can do is back air and say HGod Clutchbox. Yeah, HBox has lost to a lot of people, but that doesn't take away the fact that HBox has lost to a lot of people, asterisk, he's still really good. But Hacks having the HBox win is incredible, and I think we spoke to this during the seeding stream on Friday, that Hacks really, it looked like he was missing that big flagship hallmark win, whatever you want to call it, and now he's got it. So, win on HBox. It is, it does, I don't think we don't need to go into that. 1-1 on SFAT. Yeah, so it doesn't look like, you can see from like these red records here that he's not like right up there. He's not like in an IBDW, SFAT, S2J, like kind of conversation he's having. So, but when we move like a little bit out of that range to, even though, because Face Roll Ginger are going to be like, so there's the top 10 and like the fringe top 10 right now, which is like, we have our top 10 in no particular order, like HBox, Wizrobe, Axe, Leffen, Mango, Zane, Plup, AMSA, S2J, IBDW. I think that's, did I just list 10 people? Well, and then Mewtwo King somewhere probably in there. That's our like top 10, and then we have our fringe like right around there, like the SFATs, the Moki, the Bing Chungus. Thank you for the follow. Him versus Lucky is an interesting discussion, but Lucky having, oh, actually let's start there. Let's start with Hacks versus Lucky. Both Fox players with a couple big wins this year. So let's start. Vacation Shirt, thank you for the follow. Thank you guys for getting me. I'm almost to 1K. Hacks above Lucky. So, okay, let's keep it interesting. Let's go like this. So before we start this, we're going to look at the numbers and see Hacks versus Lucky to get a feel for where Hacks has done this year. And so let me look this up real quick. So without knowing any of the data, Lucky beat HBox's Fox. Who will be ranked higher? Actually, I should, because the wording of this is important. It's not who will be ranked higher, because that's a different question. Who should be ranked higher? So we have Hacks and Lucky. Try to, so you guys can vote in the chat, try to remember what they've done for this year. And again, it's hard. Like, this is your gut reaction. We're going to look at the data, and then we're going to see where this actually goes right now. Who's number one? Clutchbox. It's Clutchbox, then it's Clutchbox, then Mango or Leffen. Mango, Leffen, 2-3, and then I have to do my top 6 again because it's been so long, and now we have like the full data set. So I'm gonna like finish this poll real quick so we don't spend too much time waiting on this. 73% in Lucky's favor. Okay, so this is before we look at the data at all. So I don't know who I have right now. I'm going to wait till we take a look at the data, but let's just take a look real quick. And these guys were only 2 apart. So at the very highest level, Lucky has a Mango and a Wizrobe win, and Hacks has an HBox win. I would say that having 2 wins, even though an HBox win is more valuable than a Wizrobe win or a Mango win, I would say having 2 wins against players in this top level is probably more valuable to me. And the win over HBox's Fox really should not take a part of this thing. But I think having 2 separate wins against players among the top 6 right here is much more valuable than having 1. Because even though, how close were these sets? Very close sets. And I also probably don't, well, I could say in the same vein that I probably don't expect Hacks to beat HBox any other time soon. Well, this set was close. That's maybe different. I think there's a better chance that Hacks beats HBox again than there is that Lucky beats Mango again. But I think having 2 wins against these guys, 2 wins in this top echelon is better than 1 win. Yeah. So then we continue down to this mid-range right outside. Hacks' only win here is over SFAT. Lucky's up 2-0 on SFAT, 3-6 on S2J. That includes a lot of local records. So we could say, like, from that we can glean. Actually, no, a lot of those are like bigger tournaments. Boya Pounds, Schism. Well, they play a lot. So from that record, we can essentially glean that like 1 out of Austin Melee. Thank you for the host, even if it's just 1. Also, go follow Austin Melee if you don't. They do a wacky podcast about New England Melee every week on Wednesday nights. And I'm usually not streaming on Wednesday nights, so I can definitely support you guys. Yeah. So in this mid-range kind of area, we have Lucky with 2 wins over SFAT. Hax is even with him. Lucky essentially beats S2J. I can't do the fraction on top of my head. Like 40% of the time, 33%. So yeah, this is nuts having like 70, 80 viewers for the. Oh God, no! Too many people are going to the wheat sheet. 1/3. Oh yeah, that is 1/3. I'm an absolute donkey at doing math. Although that practice of doing math this weekend on stream has failed me. Hex is 3-5 on Swedish as well. Yeah, so I guess you could say these two are kind of comparable. That having the third of record, 1/3 of the sets against S2J is definitely more valuable. So Lucky has like a slight edge in this area as well, and then we continue down. Lucky even on Fiction, slightly down on Face Roll, even with Ginger. As Hax Money is up on Face Roll, up on Ginger. Okay, these guys are much closer than I previously would have expected. And now Lucky has a lot more attendance, so you see many more of these iffy-ish losses kind of littered in here. And this is also not including a lot of Hax's local records. That'll be something that we'll definitely see as we go later, when we go to the actual ballot time of what Hax's local records look like. And I think we're getting a little bit of a glimpse. Well, I guess these two are very bad examples of a glimpse into his potential local records. I believe he has a losing local record to Rio Beat. But so it seems like Lucky has much more attendance, and in these categories, he maybe has like a slight edge on people. Mango versus Army, unironically, was one of my favorite sets of the year. Do you ever think about the things you say before you think them? You should probably do that. Okay. No, I mean, feel free to like whatever you want. But it seems like I think it's pretty clear from what I can see that Lucky should be and will be ranked higher than Hax. Just because these little individual ways he's like just very slightly better than him. And this isn't including, like we said, Hax's less than ideal local records, and Lucky has a tremendous amount of more attendance here. Let's ban Army, woo. Yeah. Yeah, so I think, okay, so that's a good place to start. And where Lucky is going to be is a whole nother conversation. Where did I have Lucky in my... Army didn't quit. I don't think Army quit. No, I don't want to open the rest sheet. I want to open the AA sheet. I still have to rename the name of the sheet. I just was lazy one time and never renamed it, so now just AA. Lucky also has bad losses. Yeah, they both have bad losses. So yeah, even if we kind of do that blanket statement of, hey, these guys both have bad losses, Lucky gets away from that a little bit more because he's low attendance. So where did I have... I had Lucky all the way up at 16th last time we talked about it. Last time we did... Yeah, this would have been post the Big House 9 ranking adjustment. I think we maybe... Yeah, actually, this was post DreamHack, I believe, is the last time we adjusted it because we brought Face Roll a bunch up here. So this was my long time ago ranking. I don't know Face Roll over Lucky. Face Roll winning that tournament was really, really good, but I think having a win over Wizrobe and Mango might be a little bit better. And Face Roll also has some less than desirable losses. So, yeah, but Hax being close to Lucky based on where we have that perception of him. Let's just, again, like, scroll through what Hax has for the year. Yeah, Army seems like a tremendous guy. That's important, guys, for when you're hating on Ices. Make sure to remember that Ices players are people, too. Like, Pudgy Panda pops through here all the time, and he seems like a really nice and chill dude. The spreadsheet fully updated? Yeah. I believe Wheat has updated everything from this weekend. Yeah. Ices are... You can hate on Ices, just make sure that hate doesn't overflow into hating on the people who play Ices. Yeah. And you can dislike players, you can dislike their opinions, but like, don't hate people. People generally are good. Another big hot take. But let's stop talking about people and talk about person in the form of Hax Money. Kind of let's just scroll through and what the highlights of his things are here. Being up 2-1 on Ginger is going to be really good. These two records right here, really incredible because Face Roll Ginger are top 20 players, lock, no question. So having that, I really think that more philosophy. This isn't even philosophy like 101. This is philosophy like 01 with SaveAsUntitled. Yeah, hacks like people is good. Totally butts. Genius. It takes such the high IQ to play Mario, and it's showing through right there. Yeah. So I think, yeah. Is hacks top 20? Is probably a good question. This is definitely going to be updated after the Plup win. It's really, I don't think hacks. So this is gonna be a weird statement. Excuse me. This is gonna be a weird statement, but tell me if this makes sense to you. Hacks, I think, is in the same tier of these top 20 players, but he may be just right on the cusp of top 20 because there's so many top 20 players. Does that make sense? Actually, no. With an HBox win, he's almost certainly going to beat out like one of these other players with these big wins. What's Ginger's big win? Could he be ranked higher than Ginger? Now there's a question I want to talk about. Ginger doesn't have that big hallmark win as they go down the line. I think Ginger's probably slightly more consistent. No, Ginger has a lot of losses littered in there. Ginger's best win is S2J. And Ginger's best win is, I guess, the IVDW win, which is weird to say. Yeah, I think Hacks will probably be higher than Ginger. That's not something I want to hard commit to right now, but like just going down Ginger's thing and like looking for those ones or those yellow records, like, I don't know, man. 1-1 with Spark, not the worst play to lose to. Lost to Santi, lost to Bimbo, Shroomed, None. Hacks, down on Army. Down on locals like KJH, even with Duck, even with Face Roll. Yeah, I don't know. Ginger might be better than Hacks, but he won't be ranked higher. Yeah, it's interesting. I can't think of... I'm trying to think, like, who I would expect to go further in bracket. It's really, really hard off the top of my head to think. Because I don't really have... I don't have, like, a strong perception of how far Ginger makes in brackets. Not saying, like, I don't know where Ginger places at tournaments. Like, I don't have a feel for, like... Yeah, and also I'm trying to mitigate my Falco bias. And I also really don't have a perception of how far... Let's just take a look at this. Again, this is my placements don't matter reminder of the week. I just want to see where he placed at events. To see... Because placements... So this is one thing I will give placements for being useful for. Placements give us... Again, they don't show... I would love to have, like, wins and losses of all these tournaments, but when I don't have something like that... it's more to see if Hacks' wins come in short bursts, like all at one tournament, or if they're spread out. And it looks like he's generally, besides the SmashCon, how do you do at Super SmashCon? Because I want to see who did he lose to at SmashCon? Yeah, the Hacks DQing is definitely something. Yeah. It's definitely something I'm keeping in mind. And I think that might have been right before Foss got here that I said that. He lost the Wisp? Yeah. And then he just DQ'd out. That's a fair response after losing the Wisp. Yeah, losing the Calvar. He didn't DQ out? Then he lost to SFAT for 65th. All right. I was thinking this one with Kevin Maples. Yeah. So, From this, I get the kind of feeling that he's fairly consistent. Ish, like consistent for Hacks. Also, surprising amount of attendance here that I did not realize. It's hard to keep a mental lock on how much Hacks' attendance, because how many events he signed up for is probably like double this. But yeah, I think that about wraps up our Hacks discussion. So is Hacks going to be top 20 this year? Probably. I think it's going to be definitely close. It's going to be close because there's a lot of guys in there. Time for the meat and the potatoes. Yeah, the Leffen versus Mango discussion we have a lot better grasp. Yeah, because with this hacks one, why I'm less willing to give like a final opinion or like he's going to be top 20, he's not going to be top 20, is because we don't have the full data set. But for Mango and Leffen, most people off the top of their head can give you a pretty good spread of what they've done this year. But hacks is going to be close. Hacks Ginger straw poll, if you guys want it. All right, who do you think is going to be ranked higher? Because I don't... Who will be ranked higher? Let me just reuse that. Ginger. You did not come late, Sika. Normally you do. Sika, just jump in. You haven't seen any of the data we just looked at. Give me your take on this one. See, I'm hesitant to say hacks, and that's mainly... Wins and losses. Let me take a look at this. This definitely doesn't have everything in it. Yeah, I'm just afraid of using the Liquipedia stuff. Well, because we're gonna have to wait like 2 or 3 weeks to get Hacks' full stuff. Yeah, I'm very scared. And I think now that I reflect on it in my heart of hearts, I think I would expect Ginger to go further in bracket. Like if there's a tournament held right now. But I don't know. An HBox win is so good. And Ginger just doesn't have the big win. Before this weekend, it's a no-brainer that Hacks is lower. Yeah. Yeah, it's really hard to say, and I'm going to hold out until the ballot season comes. Because we don't know where a lot of these players... Ginger is going to... Again, let's go back to that. Sick, I was also really surprised as we went to that as well. Because just off this, like, that's a good, well, count them up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 events for Hacks and Ginger. Ginger, like, might have attended less. Yeah, Ginger, from what they have listed on the Liquipedia page, again, this is like this is the very shorthand because I'm not able to, like, build comprehensive data sets. Yeah, that really feels, that's so odd. Those are all majors compared to smaller events. Yeah, but still, like, that Hacks is pretty much... Yeah, no, but he's still attending a lot of these events. Like, I don't think you can... If you're going to be like, Ginger's attendance is better because he went to bigger events, when we're not considering, like, locals for that. Like, these are bigger regionals. Like, Gang was a kind of bigger event. Gigahog, yeah. The player, like, from the people he's losing to here. Like, this is attendance. This is not... lesser attendance. My mom had New England's a pretty strong region, had a lot of people. Yeah. Go to Ginger's full results. How would I get there? All results. Okay, so they've both been to a lot of events. So attendance really is not, when we're doing the Ginger versus Hacks discussion, attendance should not be too much of a factor for those two. Because attendance is more, when we bring in attendance into a discussion between two people, I think it's more to say, more to reward people who attend more, not when we're getting to, this guy should be rewarded because he went to 15 events and this guy went to 14 events. I think attendance mainly comes into these discussions when it's like, Wizrael went to -3 events and HBox won 40 tournaments this year. So HBox should be given the go-ahead in that kind of discussion. Yeah. I think that makes a lot of sense. It is fairly reasonable. Also, hey, Happygate. I don't know if I said that. It's hard. A lot of times I'll be like weirded out if I don't know if I said something on stream, because when you're streaming, it's essentially like, I always like to think about it as those people who are juggling all those plates at the same time. And the RAM of my short-term memory is already pretty bad. But there's so much going on in the RAM. Like, my RAM is completely full right now. So some stuff I can't remember if I actually did. Because I'm, like, constantly looking over my stream to make sure everything looks good. Looking at the viewers, looking at chat, trying to lead a reasonable discussion on that. So sometimes I can apologize if my head's a little all over the place sometimes when I'm streaming. But where my head will be greatly focused for the next probably 20 plus minutes is on one of the most pressing discussions I've seen on Twitter in the last couple of days. Who is number 2 in the world? Is it recency bias, man who didn't win anything last year, who got a lot of money, a lot of money from the subs he earned from winning this weekend and also from the prize pool and whatever? Or is it the Swede who beats people in Ultimate and complains on Twitter? Left God. So, I just choked on my coffee. Leffen sent a spirit for me. He was like, yo, talk shit on Sweden. I got hitters in Philly. Oh, God. Okay, we're good. Save is good. Save is saved. So, I will never talk ill on Left God again. So, we're going to break this down into essentially, we'll break it down to 3 different parts. We'll break it down to how do these players perform against the players at the top level, so like the top 6, and then we'll look at how do they perform with the players right outside of that level, and then we'll talk about their worst losses. So, and we'll try to rank who's better on each of those individuals to get like a full result. So, again, because the hacks one I think was a little bit more clear before, so I didn't run a second poll. But I think this is such a hotly debated issue that a lot of people already have their opinions set in stone on, which hopefully we'll be able to either one way or another flop some opinions. Let's see your immediate take. Well, first, I guess you're voting for Leffen no matter what. Let's vote on this, and then we're going to look at the data. We're going to have a discussion. We're going to learn more. We're going to become more informed voters, and then we're going to vote again. So I'm curious to keep this in mind of what's going on here. I don't know. Boyo, that's also a perfectly fine answer. I am also very much in the camp a lot of the times of not giving my opinion until I am informed. And a lot of the time, like, people ask in chat, like, where should X be ranked? And I'll be like, I don't know, because I don't have the data in front of me. So, abstaining from voting, the see results option, the equivalent of the see results option in this poll, is also legitimate. All right, so we're here on a minute. Very tight poll. So it looks like people, the general public is not very strongly one way or the other, slightly in Leffen's favor, but it seems like you guys, the public does not have a definitive answer, unlike for number 1, which is clearly H-God, clutch box. See, Mosley, no, this is, do you really care that much about individual rankings since I'm sure that's not how you vote? Yeah, no. See, Mosley, I kind of like doing, I like doing these kind of polls to give people, to kind of push the agenda or to show that people's opinions can change on ranking stuff and that it's important to be informed. Like, and there's a very realistic possibility that someone has their opinion before we talk about this and it stays exactly the same. I like doing this just because it's like, hey, people can change their opinions. Yeah. And also, hey, not Sully. And I think it's just also interesting to see how people change from that. And also, that it's crazy that we have 90 people here. Hopefully we'll be able to keep this momentum going throughout the week. I was going to do my standard playing with subs melee tomorrow, but I think I might do a resume review tomorrow. Cyan, thank you for gifting 2 tier 1 subs to the community, Sean and Nexus HS. Well, welcome to the Save Club, baby. I need a better name for my fans, the Savers. Hit them with the Save W's. We're getting closer and closer. You did that so we'd be at 69. No, I'm never going to get any more subs, Cyan. I'm going to be stuck at 69 forever. Which is a fate worse than death. Having 69 people support me, they're the Files, the Savers, the Untitles. Nice. All right. Okay, so let's talk about Leffen versus Mango again. I said we're going to split this discussion into 3 separate things. Head-to-head at the top level, mid-range results, which is like right outside of, and like that kind of 7 to 20 kind of range, and then worst losses. So at the very top of the table, which we'll cut off at the plup. We'll cut off at the AMSA level. I think that's generally when I've done these discussions, I cut it off there. The stats cats. I kind of like that. What mess do we have here, Rascal? I don't know, man. Let's find out. The floppies, I hate that. Let's talk about Leffen and Mango. We can workshop the name of the save subs in a second. The savers. So Leffen having a winning record on HBox, a strong winning record against HBox is pretty incredible. Mango getting his close to being even for the year, also really good to see. Leffen having a losing record on both Wizrobe and Axe is also very, very, very odd to see. And those two being even with each other, we can pretty much like take that out of the conversation, not worry about that. And being up on Zane, I'd probably say, how did the one set go that he lost? Yeah. So up on Zane, up on Plup, up on Amsa. Whereas Mango has about even record with HBox. That's a winning record on Wizrobe, and you can't convince me. I've spent a lot of time talking about this and arguing about what this should be considered. And I mean, it's less valid to just like off the jump say that Mango beats Wizrobe here, no problem, because of the none loss. But I still say that I think we can treat this as a winning record over Wizrobe for the 10 plus or whatever. It's like 18 or 17-0 over their all-time record of Mango winning that. So I'm cool with treating that as a winning record over Wizrobe. It's also so odd that like you can see how these records like filled out one of the few white spots we have here of records we haven't seen. I'd also be really interested to see S2J versus Leffen. Yeah, I'll treat it as like a 102. Yeah, it's not like a big play either way, I don't think. So, and then winning record on Axe, even with Leffen. Close record with Zane. Closer than I would like, but he's currently on that winning streak. Not that like we're looking at overall resume review. Up on Plup, down on Amsa, and this is a big thing that I think one of the big things that hurts Mango for this two conversation is being 0-3 on Amsa. Like having a loss to Amsa, that would be kind of but being 0-3 on Amsa for the year, very, very much not pretty. So if you look at those nets, so that would be Leffen is 4-2-1, 4 winning records, 2 losing records, and 1 even record. And then Mango is 4-2-1. Huh. 4-2-1. So they both have the same spread. If that would be if we value all of these records evenly. I would say that having a losing, well, this one's like a little close too. So it's doing that, even that spread out 4-2-1 is very oversimplifying this conversation, because having a winning record over HBox is really like a strong winning record over HBox is really good. And this is having this close of a record on HBox is also really, really good. But yeah, so their records at this highest level are pretty decent, pretty comparable. I think I'd probably give the slight edge to Leffen because having a strong record over HBox is invaluable. And Mango having this 0-3 record on Amsa is big sketch. Because what that tells us, well, yeah, because if we think it in terms of who's a hard roadblock for people, I guess we could say the same that Wizrobe could potentially be seen as a hard roadblock for Wizzy. Yeah, but so we can't really use that argument here. But I'd say I give the very, very slight edge to Leffen in this category. So now let's move to this mid-range kind of discussion, which would be like right outside Amsa all the way down. Both is lost. That's Cody's incredible. Cody having wins on both these guys is so crazy to see. So in this range, the players that they've lost to, Leffen has lost to IBDW and Moki, and I believe that is it for him. Mango has lost to IBDW, Lucky, Army, None, Spark, Magi. And I think that does it for, like, this is kind of mid-range plus bad losses. And I think it's pretty clear to see who has the worst losses in this category. It's Mango by a mile. But now this is where the discussion comes in on exactly. See, Mosley, you were right on top of it. Ready right there. This is where attendance, factoring in attendance comes in. And Faust is right back there. You guys are smart. You guys are, that sounded demoralizing, patronizing. And I didn't mean it to come off like that. But those are exactly the two things that are important when we get into this discussion. Attendance and how much leeway do we give Europeans on attendance? let's throw that out the window for a second. Let's throw that out the window for a second and just talk about how many events they've attended, and then we can move from there. And it's for a point of comparison. And for looking for, I don't know, I should have done this for these two for that. Looking at attendance is a little bit better to do this on Smash Wiki, even though Wikipedia is better in a lot of things. Let me progressive. I'm gonna stretch you. Weep. That's what we call good melee right there. I'm gonna stretch you all the way over here. So Leffen this year has been to 6 tournaments, which I'd say is 6 tournaments and 12 for Mango, so I don't have to count. Cool. Yeah, so Mango does get that bit of plus for attending more tournaments. So when we're dealing with someone with lesser attendance, well, one, I think it's if these guys were both US players, Mango would definitely get a nod here. I'm not saying he would get the full nod to being top 100 over him for just attending more events. But if these guys were both US players, Mango would definitely get a plus for the over attendance, for the attendance. Yeah. But European players, and Leffen and Armada were having this discussion on Twitter. Every event you drop out of counts as 2 losses to Magi. Why do we have to do that to Magi, Weiss? No, but for European players, even someone of Leffen's caliber, it is very, very important to keep in mind, and don't call me a European apologist, because I think this is a very fair opinion to hold, that it is quite a task to travel out to an American tournament for a European player. Not only is it a huge monetary investment, it's taxing on them because they have to adjust their sleep schedule. They have to do all of the process of traveling over there. It is a huge time and monetary investment for a European player to come over. And the fact that Leffen came over for 6 events, how many of these did he have to play on his home turf? He played 0. He played 0 events. And that's probably speaking more towards Leffen attending local European events and how European events aren't nearly as stacked as US events. And that's a much bigger conversation as well. He had to drop twice for visa issues. Yeah, it is. Yeah, and sometimes something like that will happen, and it can be taxing on him that he can try to go out to events, and there can be issues and we're again, and not investment is a negative. Yeah, a negative investment. It's just very it's very important. He was, and I was just about to bring that up for ultimate events. Sometimes we don't even know the stream schedule until days before the event, and I assume and a lot of times that's kind of similar the case for the schedule for Smash players. The seeding doesn't come out to the week of, and sometimes they'll only know what pool they're in to the week of. So it's very, very important with how much European players can get screwed over. It's very important to give them this extra leeway in some capacity. Even for someone like Leffen. I don't want to say he's the most profitable or the most monetarily well off of European smashers who compete at the highest level. But even for someone who has a huge sponsor like TSM, it's still, so even say Leffen has infinite money and he's still going to live in Europe, it's still a huge time commitment. So I think that's enough discussion on that. I think it's really important, especially in this conversation, to make sure that's addressed and to make sure that people realize that it's not easy for European players to travel over. But Mango does have double the events as Leffen, so maybe give him a slight nod in that. But I think the important way to look at this discussion with that attendance thing in mind is that if Leffen went to those 6 extra tournaments, do you think Leffen is dropping? So collectively, it'd be to Lucky, Army, none. And it's not the players individually. So do you think over those 6 extra events, do you think he would rack up wins to Lucky, Army, None, Magi, and Spark? Lucky, Army, None, Magi, Spark. So 5 across those 6 events. Do you think Leffen would lose to this many players outside the top 20? And I think the answer to that, based on his performance, I don't think I see Leffen losing. I I don't know. I don't want to point out an individual player I could see Leffen losing to, especially because it's so hard to pick out like a player around this level that you would see him losing to. Aren't None and Moki comparable? Yeah, I think even if you're given that, so you say None and Moki are comparable losses, I still think Mango's, I think Taffa was saying something to the effect of this, that Mango's floor is so much lower than Leffen's. Like, perspective, the perceived floor of, like, the lowest player that I think Mango could lose to, not that I think Mango would particularly lose to Magi again, but there's always, Mango always has, like, that Magi or Flipsy or something, like, and I don't think we have that same real threat, and you're going to say, Lovage, that same real threat for Leffen on a consistent basis. Like, what was his worst loss? Lovage was in 2017. What was his worst loss besides Lovage that year? Yeah. I don't know off the top of my head. I just wanted to, like, scroll down. Is it Drug Fox? Was it from 2017? Drug Fox, the Moon. Yeah. So, actually, me bringing this, going off on tangent, talking about 27 stuff, it was mainly just because the Lovage thing. But I think everyone would say that Leffen's floor this year, based on the data we have for him, Leffen's floor is so much higher than it is for Mango. And that for these losses. And so, it's important, and that important to keep in mind. So, even if we say, like, the None and Moki losses are comparable, I think it's weird to say because Mango's history against Falcon is just beat into that. Nacho, no, we've been going for an hour 11. Funky Bag, it's not true, but you want me to read it? When Mango's playing bad, he loses the Magi and gets 13th at main stage. And when Leffen is playing bad, he DQs himself. I don't know if that's completely fair to say. I'm trying to think of how I would. It's definitely spicy. I don't know how I would go about, because that's a weird discussion to have, and then that also gets us into a really. It's not fair, but I know, like, objectively that I think that's not true or not fair. But I don't know how to express the way to do an argument against that. Yeah. Yeah, and he didn't, and Leffen, like, was obviously not playing up to snuff when he lost to Moki and IBDW at Shine? That was at Shine? Yeah, when he lost to them at Shine. Yeah, I think people overblow the Leffen DQ, Leffen dropping out of sets. The Hex DQing is not blown out of the water, but the Leffen DQing definitely is. Yeah. Moki will beat him again? I don't know. I don't know about that, homie. I don't know if Moki will beat him again. But, like, let's circling back around and kind of putting a more concrete kind of thing on that. If we're saying that the head-to-heads, or at least I'm saying that the head-to-heads for Leffen are slightly in his favor at the highest level, and depth of loss-wise is definitely pretty significantly in Leffen's favor, with all the people Mango's lost to, even if we consider the attendance, which is definitely something you need to keep in mind for most things. But with Leffen going to 6 events, 6 major, not even like 6 events, like considering any smaller event, going to 6 majors as a European player, and his lowest placing, again, placings don't matter, but lowest being 5th, whereas Mango's is like 13th. Again, placements don't matter. I hate that every time I have to undercut one of those statements. Well, it's important to stay firm on that, because that is the firmest opinion I'll hold. I think, to me, it is pretty clear that Leffen should be ranked above Mango. That's, again, my opinion. If you value attendance more, I still think it's not fair to give Mango the nod. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to see the argument for Mango being number 3, because IBDW put out that tweet, like, something about objectively 1 being Leffen or Mango, not objectively being 2 and 3. But I'm trying to, Weiss, you did some devil's advocate argument? Yeah. So if I was put myself on the other side, what would be my argument for Mango being? Mango has 3 tournament wins. Yeah. If you value peaks more, yeah. Mango winning 3 majors is good. Yeah. So I guess that would be for people who see Mango above Leffen. They're less looking at head-to-heads and like spreads, because I think Mango's peaks higher. I don't know, because Leffen's what was Leffen's 1 win? Mango's collective, like the number of tournaments he's won is higher. And like when we take that 13th out, he does have the 9th as well, and the 9th at Summit. Yeah. It might be like a very consistency versus peaks. Yeah, I find it really, really hard to put Mango at number 2. I can like very, very slightly see it. But it's really hard for me in my heart of hearts to see Mango as number 2. But I can, like, I'm not going to say you're a stupid moron for saying that Mango is number 2. But I find it really hard really hard to say Mango's number 2. But to give, I want to see how the chat is right now. And again, obviously, mine. To be fair, I never say that placements don't matter. First placements don't matter. Yeah, that's the only place I still don't have the best argument against. Do I have the poll plugin? Weiss, you read my mind because I was waiting to do it. Because again, it's going to be totally biased because I'm the guy yelling at you, saying my opinions and arguing one way. But so we ran the poll earlier and it was about like slightly in Leffen's favor. Let's do it again. What do you guys think now that we've looked at the numbers and you've seen everything? And again, disagreeing with me, totally cool. I just personally don't see the other side of the argument, but disagreeing with me, perfectly cool. Just make sure you're making an informed opinion. Hopefully you're informed from the discussion we had. If you say they're tied, boyo, that's an opinion. For at this high of the level, I don't like going with that. You're 4-year Mango sub and you vote at Leffen. Yeah, and again, as much as I don't think I can see the Mango side of the argument, and if you can't decide still, that's pretty cool too. That's cool too. As long as now you're informed, that's what I'm here for. I'm not here to inform your opinion. I'm here to inform you. I think that's fair. An ultimate player can't be possibly ranked 2? Yeah, that's why he's number 1. H-box. Okay, I'm gonna end this poll. I've gone too far. I'm gonna end this poll. So it started out being more in Leffen's favor. So I think I'm in the chat is wrong. Well, the chat ended up strongly in Leffen's favor. And again, it's more of the time in discussions like these, more of the times I would be more lenient to see the other side. But it's just hard for the things I value. Yeah, for the things I value, I can't find a way to fit the Mango being above Leffen into my framework of how I view things and how I view like the attendance things, the DQs and stuff like that. I think it's just an amalgamation of a lot of opinions I hold on those kind of things, not really lining up with the ways that you could argue Mango over Leffen. If that makes any sense. Like the things that would give Mango that edge and does give Mango that edge in the minds of some people, I just hold the opposite opinion or don't agree with those kind of things. Yeah. It also changed a lot. 54-45 sounds right. You're overselling Leffen? Yeah, I don't know. But again, Melee Rankings is weird. And I love this because, yeah. We rank Leffen at 3rd. He'll be mad. That'll fuel for him to be number 1. Yeah, dude, Leffen could do it. Leffen and Mango. If Mango plays like he played this weekend all year, Mangeezy could be number 1. Mango was playing like a man possessed in that Zane set. He was predicting what Zane did before it was even in Zane's head. It was disgusting. Yeah, it's gonna be close. Save as European. Yeah, I'm a European apologist. I'm an H-box apologist. I'm a Falco apologist. I'm bad I think that's all it. But speaking of which, also, Josh, I don't think I'm going to do some net play tonight. I think we're going to keep it short, sweet, and to the point for tonight's show. So, is there anything else short you guys would want to talk about, either from this weekend or from the discussions we've had? Because I believe we're done for the night. The plan is for tomorrow night, probably at about 6 p.m. I'm going to be doing some more resume. I'm pro Oxford comma, but I will not use the Oxford comma for my things where I'm trying, for tweets and stuff where I'm trying to keep it short. That's a funny match, except the loser has to rank Mango number 2. I'm not willing to put that on the line. I'm in the opinion of Mango over Wizrobe. Yeah. If Mango's this close to Leffen, he's 3. I think the top 3 is Mango, Leffen, Mango. I mean, the top 3 is HBox, some order of HBox, Leffen, Mango. I think those being the top 3, I find it hard for you to argue for anyone above them. Wizrobe doesn't have the excuse of being a European player, has a bunch of less than desirable losses across like 4 events. So Wizrobe by no means should be beating out Leffen or Mango. Axe also has a lot of less than desirable losses, but his head-to-heads at the top level is pretty incredible. And then Zane has garbage head-to-heads at the top level, but good consistency. Pup versus Zane is clearly Zane. Zane is, I think, again, I got to look at these numbers, and we're going to be looking at these discussions as we move into ballot season, and some of these will probably get their own individual videos. The Leffen Mango discussion might even get its own individual video this week, but I think Zane's the probably 6 right now. Like, I don't know what I had before. I'm gonna, yeah, if I had to do, like, right now, without doing the research and looking at just these head-to-heads, I say HBox, Leffen, Mango, Axe, Wizrobe, Zane. Yeah. Yeah. Because Wizrobe having winning record, yeah, it does feel really wrong having Zane at 6, especially with how little Wizzy went to. Wizzy Zane is a weird discussion. But having winning records on HBox and Leffen and up on Zane, yeah, having a winning record on HBox is so good. Zane did choke so much this year, and Zane is really good. Yeah, but again, these are like big discussions to have. I had Zane at 4. Did I really have Zane at 4 before? Wow. I was mistaken. I was mistaken. Yeah, because I think I was also of the mindset of like, hey, he's kind of a threat for HBox, but yeah. It's really someone made the statement that like how good having a winning record on HBox and Leffen is, especially when they're 1 and 2. Yeah, I God. Yes, Zane is so good and so consistent outside of the top level. But man, yeah, losing the top 5 sucks so much for him. He's got all this going on here. Wizzy did fall short at later events, but damn, having a winning record on HBox and Leffen is so good. Yeah, but again, this is gonna be another discussion we're gonna have like completely fully individual, like that just 20-minute discussion, 20+ minute discussion we had of Leffen Mango. All these guys could have a very, yeah, like the Zane Wizrobe Axe portion of the thing can have. Actually, I think Axe might be clear 4. Yeah, I think Axe might be clear 4. I think I might be like, as much as I said I'm not locked in on these and I have to look more at it, I might be kind of locked in on these 4 as the top 4. That's Zane's Fox. That's Zane's Fox. Yeah, I might be locked in on these 4. Yeah. But again, this all can definitely change. As so is ranking season. Where's Hax for me? Hax is top 20, but I'm not sure 100% boyo about where he's going to fall. That's going to be ballots and when we have all local results. Are the rankings supposed to be a ranking of their abilities in this exact moment or a referendum of the full year's performance? I think that exactly the percentages of how people weigh those are are locked in. I think a perspective of how people weigh those changes from person to person, which is why it's very important, True Hero, thank you for the follow, when we have these ranking discussions to not, and sometimes I slip and say it, that there's a ranking system, quote unquote, because there's not a ranking system, quote unquote. There's a bunch of people with a bunch of different opinions who value things differently that all end up creating the ballot. There's no ballot system. There's no locals matter 3.4%. There's locals are a greater trend, and hopefully for everyone, it's locals are a greater trend that we can look to for head-to-heads. Edwin, let me see if I can find the Monday Morning Marth article, because Edwin, it's always, the locals thing comes up a lot. Actually, it's just in the Melee Stats. It would be on MeleeStats.co. MeleeStats.co. Yeah, for you guys who don't already go on the MeleeStats.co website, you can get When's Melee, Wheat's podcast. Why isn't my videos posted over here? Oh, yeah, because it takes away views. But Edwin did a very good, very great explanation of why locals matter and how they particularly matter. Like, I think this is one of the most important things. Locals are useful for finding predictive trends over a large set of data, not for punishing or rewarding players for a singular set. That could be put in a command for locals. That is very succinct, and all these other stuff is going to matter. But I think that is succinctly and very importantly my opinion, and hopefully many's opinions on locals. Monday Morning Marth is back. But why read Monday? Well, Monday Morning Marth is just like a companion piece to this. Well, actually, Edwin and I hold different opinions. Do you think Oms is underrated? I think Oms is rated. I think Oms is like around where he should be. I think that'll probably do it for tonight, guys. Again, unless you have any more super pressing questions. Reminder, if you're watching this and you're not followed, I only need 13 more followers to get to 2,000. That would be crazy, especially if you're watching the VOD over on YouTube, because I am going to be doing a ton more ballot streams at odd times. Match you SSBM, thank you for the follow. I'll be doing a bunch more streams as we come at Red Sky Tempest, thank you for the follow. I'll be doing many more streams coming into the last half of the year. Cool. Is SSMB? Ah, you got me. Read what JDK said. What did JDK say? You think Mango should be seated number 1 in Genesis? Probably not. I think HBox is still the number 1 seed. Again, the seeding discussion really isn't mine to have, but and generally what happens with seeding is it's for Genesis, the like kickoff event of the year is generally done off the top 100. Even though it kind of shouldn't be, but I think putting HBox as number 1 seed makes sense. Yeah, it just takes the Yanks and yoinks them for the seeding. Yeah. So I also think that, yeah, that's about it for today. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say or discuss before we go. Oh, yeah. So tomorrow night, normally on Tuesday nights, I play with subs, but because I want to make sure I'm definitely going to be doing some daytime Melee streams throughout the week because I get to practice for No Johns on Saturday. But for the nighttime, probably at about 6 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night, we'll be doing another resume review. I haven't picked the full group of people yet, and I might actually do a tweet out soon about voting for. Actually, what I'll do, because one, I'm doing Sunsei. Sunsei is my easy choice for doing tomorrow. I believe I started filling up the resume for someone else as well. I was thinking like Sunsei, Panda, where are my resume review folders? I was working on someone on Friday. Franz. Yeah. But I'm going to be doing a bunch of people tomorrow, more resume reviews of people on the low. You'll be getting the VOD of this tomorrow. On Wednesday, you'll be getting the video on Leighton if you missed out our discussion of his resume moving forward. And on Friday, you'll be getting the Bobby Big Balls video if you missed that discussion. We're going to try to get one a day, and then going into the weekend, I don't think I have those. The ones I'll be putting out on the weekend will be coming up tomorrow. So what I'm going to do, if you're a sub, I will be putting a submission sheet in the subs only portion of the Discord for voting on one of the players I'll be talking about tomorrow night. So if you're interested in either, if you're a top player, you know a top player, or there's someone you want to hear me talk about, consider subbing to the channel. Also, it'll get me to go try some commentary at Fight Pit and compete. And also it supports me a ton because I do this for full time. So this helps me like pay my rent because YouTube doesn't pay the best and Twitch is good for that. But I think that about does it for today's stream. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll be back tomorrow. I most likely will be streaming almost every day for this last month of December. Are you guys ready for Save-tember? I need to find a channel to send you guys to. Thanks for the streams. Thank you guys for showing up. And again, for those of you who can't support with subs, follows is really great. And for you guys showing up is also incredible as well. Oh, wow. Second most. Billy Bo Poop streaming. I'm the second most viewed person on Twitch for Melee. Yeah, that's nuts. All right, I'm going to send you guys the Billy. Hit him with those save emotes. Again, guys, I appreciate so many of you showing up, and especially so many of you showing up over the weekend. This weekend was crazy with how many people were here. You guys are wonderful. I'm glad I get to do this, and I'm glad you guys support me so much. I've been SaveAsUntitled. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hit Billy with all those save emotes if you can, or if you can, hit him with those Swedish Delight emotes. And I will see you guys tomorrow night, but more formally, I will see you guys next time.